checking out the video. Today, just real quick, I'm going to do a baseboard tutorial, whatever, how-to, whatever you want to call it, whatever. So, we're working on a bathroom right now. Small, I don't want to call it, it's actually a full bathroom. It's not a powder room, but it's not like a giant bathroom, but there's been some challenges in terms of space and being able to work in here all at once. But we're going to be doing the baseboards right now before we put the sealer down, and the grout sealer that is, and before we clean the tiling off. So we're going to be doing a lot more work in here, but as you see, the floor is a little dirty. So we're going to do the baseboard real quick. I'm going to kind of walk you through that. In this situation here, if you take a look down at the floor, you can see where the old baseboard was. You can see there's a lot of damage where the old baseboard was. And in this situation, as I've talked about in the previous video, if you can get the baseboard off safely without destroying the wall, I always lean towards doing that. It's just a better idea. This way you're not going to mess with cutting around it. You don't have to play any games. You don't have to take any extra time in terms of notching, any of that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically cover up the old blemishes and pock marks that are in the wall from the old baseboard. We bought some new baseboard. The old one was put in a little improperly. They definitely tried. But I'm going to show you how to miter our corners. And I don't know if we have any copes going on, but I'll show you that if we have any as well. But let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is actually take our measurements. In this situation, especially when I'm doing my crown molding and base molding, baseboard, I want the cut to be actually a little tight, because I like to snap in my crown molding and my baseboard so that I get a really tight seam on my miters. So this is a tool that I will use as my primary measuring tool now, especially since I'm used to working alone in a lot of cases. Now I got the kid here and Kara, so this actually would help me a lot to give me accurate measurements, because a lot of times when you're using tape, especially with your standout, you're going to get some arch, you're going to get some flexibility on the tape, and the problem is you don't get an accurate readout like that, especially when you're dealing with down to 1/16 of a measurement. I don't want to have to play games with that and have to cut or cut too long. So for this is actually the smallest professional model they have. I think this is like 60 bucks. Definitely a tool worth buying if you do this for a living, or if you're a DIYer that does a lot of your own work. So I'm going to basically set it on first. It has mode functional so that you can basically break it down to feet and inches, or in this situation I like to do inches. Let me see. That's the sound. I like to do inches total. So let me show you here. So now it's set on, basically, it'll give me a full inch readout instead of feet and inches. So I'm going to show first measurement here on this long wall. So I have it on the spot setting right now, but I'm actually going to do it. So basically, the reading goes from the back butt end of the actual tool, and I will set it exactly where it's going to go. You see the laser dot right there. Now, being that it's going to be in the corner, I want that as accurate reading as possible, because if the wall's bowed, it wouldn't give me accurate readout if it was over here. So right there. So that's 96 and 9/16 exactly on this readout. Okay. So we know that this one is just a little bit north of 8 feet. So that'll be my first cut. Now I could do it all at once too, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather get my first piece in and then kind of go from there. Alright, now in this situation, now that I have my measurement, I can go to my tape. Alright, I know my tape's accurate, I use it all the time. Yeah, it's better. So the actual factory setting had to be calibrated, but now you can even see by that it's much better. Alright, ready? So Now that we have that, we're going to check our 96 from right here against this back corner. 96 and 9/16 actually. I like to actually go a little bit longer than my actual measurement. Like I said, I want my miters to snap in so that they're really nice and tight. So instead of going 9/16, I'll add a 16th in some situations and actually an 1/8 longer. Make sure I'm flat against the fence. So, if you look, see I'm a little longer of my line, that's what I want. And now we'll go dry fit. Alright, now we're back inside, and we're going to see basically how we did. And I can tell you right from the look of it that we're pretty good here. And we're right where we want to be. If you look down at the angles, nice and tight in those corners. And that is our first piece, which I will now shoot in with my finish nailer. So there's a little bit of a bow in the floor. We'll end up leveling that out after the fact. I'm going to actually check myself. I just want to see basically. Now that it's locked in, we'll do our second measurement for our next piece. And in this situation, I'll probably cut this return first because it's a small piece, get it out of the way. So we'll check that next. We're a little shy of 11, but in this situation, I'll cut it to 11 because I want that nice and tight in there. And in this case also, we have what basically is a dead end stop that runs into our door casing, into an inside miter on the right. Alright, so there's my mark. I'm going to set to the right side for my blade curve, and we'll go from there. And I'm actually going to cut it a little long too. And always take more off, you can't add more. Here we go. Ready? And there's our 11 with our finished right. Alright, I have not tried it yet, so we'll see. See if we can do it. Do or die here. So as you see, I'm a little tight here, but that's okay. It's a little tighter than I want it, but I do know that my miter is going to be perfect, as you can see right there. So I'm going to shave a little bit off. Like I said, I'd rather be too long than too short. Look at him. Alright, good. I'm going to shave a little bit off. This is a little trick also I learned. One of my woodshop teachers who actually taught me this trick. Put your pencil on your finger.
Shout out to Mr. George.
Mr. George is the man, yes. Lock it in place. And Mr. George taught me this trick. Lock it in place. And look at that. Perfect line here. That's from the actual profile, so I'll know that, but look at that. Every time. So I'm going to shave that little bit off and I'll be right back. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna knock it in place. My soft mallet is nice and snug, which is what we want. And come look at the miter in the corner here. Let me see. Nice tight seam right there. You know, a little bit of caulk, you won't see anything at all. And then we'll continue to do that all the way around. So check out the time lapse.